Hi, I'm Dr. Daniel Bowman. I'm going to talk to you today about the mental conditioning coaching I do with golfers. I've worked with golfers throughout my career, both on the PGA Tour and all the way down to just young golfers. And every Saturday I work at a golf clinic with about 20 golfers and just helping them with their mental game. And I'm going to tell you the main things I look for. The first thing we do is I look for their breath. And a lot of golfers, when they're playing golf, they hold their breath when they're swinging. They'll just hold it or they'll bite their lip. So they just make sure they breathe. And as I've mentioned in these blogs before, we do a clearing breath. Sometime in their pre-shot routine or before their shot, ideally, they will take a clearing breath. And that settles them down. And when you exhale like that, it forces you to restart your breathing cycle. So I'm really watching their breath. Another thing I'm looking for is tension in their hands. If they're putting and you can see their knuckles, you can see white in their knuckles, you know that they're squeezing their putter too hard. So you want soft hands when you're putting, or even when you're driving the ball. You don't want to be gripping the club too tight. That creates tension and slows your speed and messes with your fluidity. So I'm looking for muscle tension and facial tension. Golfers will bite their lip, as I said earlier, or they'll squint up, or you'll just see tension in their hands, their neck sometimes, their face. And so I teach them to relax and just loosen up and watch and work on softening their grip, especially while putting. And then I look at their self-talk. And golfers tend to have a lot of negative self-talk. They'll call themselves names or say, this is a difficult shot, or I better not hit it in the water. So I just teach them to be nothing but positive in the way they talk to themselves. And if you think about what you don't want to do, like I don't want to hit it in the water, your mind creates an image of the ball flying into the water, and anything you visualize, you tend to get your motor memory ready for, and it just tends to make the shot happen that you're trying not to do. And these principles of breath control and muscle tension relaxation and positive thinking, they apply to anything, not just golf. If you're just interacting with others or anything at all, these principles hold. That's one of the things I love about working with athletes, is that what we teach them on the playing field or on the golf course translates over to real life. And another thing, of course, is that golfers have to learn is persistence and to appreciate gradual movement. And when we're learning something new, let's say we're changing someone's stance in their putting, maybe they are too upright and we're bending them over a little bit. At first, they need to kind of talk themselves through it and think themselves through it and do it real slow. And it takes like 1,000 repetitions for something to get into muscle memory. So we teach them to be patient and just to go with the process. And after a while, you want thought to disappear when you're playing golf or any sport, because sports are occurring down your sensory motor strip on the cerebellum, down through the outer part of the brain here, and in the sensory motor strip of the cortex, cerebral cortex, and they occur in your cerebellum back here, and a little part of your brain called the basal ganglia. That's where your motor skills occur in golf or any sport. But thinking is up in this frontal lobe, and when you're learning something new, like I said, maybe you're learning a different stance in your golf or something. At first, you've got to use your thinking. But over time, for it to convert into muscle memory with lots of repetitions, you want the thinking all clear. And you definitely don't want negative thinking, because that creates tension and frustration. And another thing I have to do with golfers is work on when they have a bad shot. There was a baseball coach, baseball sports mental conditioning coach at Cal State Fullerton who recently passed away, but he had them all have a little toilet, so when they had a strikeout or they could just flush it, or even a strike. And there's another guy for baseball, sports psychologist, called Brian Cain, who wrote a book called So What, Next Pitch. And there's both the same thing as just letting go of things. Well, golfers is the same thing. They have to learn to let go of the shots that don't go so well, keep their minds calm, keep the breath flowing, keep keep their hands soft. And then, also do some visualization with them. We practice visualizing. And when you put all that together, you start to develop in a golfer with a great mind. So if you're a golfer or your kid is, hopefully you can put these principles to work. But just remember, these don't work just for golf. They work for all of life. Have a great day.